Hi everyone, Michelle Klein here with Long & Foster Real Estate. I am part of the Annie Hall group under the Art Herling team. I work in Bucks County and Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And this is the video version of the blog that I wrote yesterday. You can find that written version of the blog at my website, www.michelleklein.realtor. It's kind of nice to have both versions, easy to listen to and watch a video, but the written version is kind of like skipping having to take notes. You can refer back to it for easy access, right? So you can find that there on my website. This week's blog is about spring cleaning. Here in my neck of the woods in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, we just changed the times and we spring forward, so we have longer days. That to me is always when it starts to really feel like spring. That in addition to the fact that daffodils are blooming, the trees have buds on them. I hear a lot more birds, so they must be returning to the area or starting to nest. So I thought, why not talk about spring cleaning? I love spring cleaning myself. I know not everybody does, but maybe after hearing this blog, you will change your mind, even if it's just a little bit. So let's jump right into it. Sorting through closets and cleaning windows definitely isn't the most glamorous or exciting way to spend your precious time on the weekend. I know that. But there is beauty to be found in the mundane tasks of spring cleaning our homes. Personally, I really do love to organize and declutter. A cluttered space heightens my anxiety. If every time I open a closet, coats fall out at me, sports equipment is tumbling down, I'm tripping over shoes in my mudroom, whatever it is that's bothering me or taking up too much space in my brain in a negative way, that sort of clutter just raises it to a new height. So if I were to open that door and I'm still carrying the same things that I'm always carrying, but I'm also trying to be a good mom and keep track of our schedules, it's a little bit easier if nothing's falling out at me, things are easily found, and things run smoothly, right? So that's why clutter and disorganization heightens my own anxiety. And it's not just in the moment that it bothers me. As I walk out the door and try to shift back into the task at hand, it lingers in my mind. It nags at me. I have to get that taken care of. I have to get that clean. It's like an unchecked box on my checklist, which I don't like to have. So making the time to slow down and get rid of what no longer fits my kids, get rid of things that my husband and I no longer use. That sort of organization, donating things to charity, it brings me relief. Not only will less clutter ease my stress level, but the act of organizing itself, for me, is a stress-relieving activity. It is a time of control for me. I can control what is right in front of me. To me, that helps to lessen any anxiety that's been creeping into my life. It's also a time where I have some clear space in my brain. The clear space in my mind I can use to reflect on whatever it is that might be bothering me or weighing me down. I can mull it over and I can think it through, and usually it helps me come to some kind of clarity on whatever the issue might be. In addition, knowing that I'm donating to an organization or an individual that needs what I don't need anymore, it just brings me joy, emotional joy and peace. So I declutter and organize often. Usually anytime those spaces start getting clogged up and I realize that it needs to be done, within the next few weeks or month, I try to make time to get it done. That is twice a year in my life, often in the fall, often again in the spring, because of how my children grow out of things. It just makes sense that way. Sometimes with two quickly growing boys, I find myself going through their things even more often than just twice a year. But spring specifically, in my opinion, is an excellent time of year to declutter and organize and clean and freshen up your home, because after the long winters we get here in Bucks County and Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, we're primed for spring, right? There's gatherings to be had, Passover, Easter. Surely we'll be having friends and families in our homes, so we want them to look their best. And winter was busy. Kids were in school all day long. You were at work. So there wasn't time to organize then. There's right after school, there's after school activities, there's sports. You're trying to get healthy meals into your family. The weekends are full of activities and sports and get-togethers and gathering. If you're a real estate agent, you're working on the weekends. My husband runs a restaurant. Our weekends are packed between sports and work and family and friends. The winter with school going on, there's just not that extra time. With all the sports and activities, there's just not that extra time. So spring presents itself as time to be able to put that onto your calendar. Put that spring cleaning and that organizing and decluttering onto your calendar. And winters are long. Even mild winters like the one we just had, it still felt long because the days are short. There's short hours of sunlight. It's chilly. It's downright cold in the mornings and the evenings as soon as the sun goes down. I'm a big baby with the cold, so I think even this mild winter was cold enough for me. So as soon as the daffodils start blooming, as soon as the birds begin nesting and the days get longer, I start thinking about my nest, my home. And as far as organizing goes, I move room by room or area by area. I don't think to myself, I'm going to do it all at once. That will overwhelm me and it'll make me think I don't have time to do it. I can't bother with it. If you do more than a small amount at a time, you're going to overwhelm yourself, especially if you have a particularly jumbled area. A lot of times my guest bedroom gets this way because I'm putting, it's a catch-all other than being, a guest space. When I don't have people staying with me, it becomes a catch-all. So if the boys have birthdays or we get gifts, the wrapping bags, the gift bags, they get stored in there and I don't put them away right away. I just toss them on the bed. A lot of times things that we buy that we don't need to use right away, they get thrown in there. We redid my 10-year-old's bedroom for his 10th birthday. He went from having, a baby's bedroom to a big kid bedroom. All the boxes, all the things we didn't want for in there anymore that have to go into storage, they found their way into the guest bedroom. And so it becomes a pretty jumbled area. So I can't think to myself, I'm going to do it all at once. Even in that room, oftentimes I'll do one area of the room at a time. Most of the time, I need to go through closets, dressers, shoes, toys. Those are the places that need my decluttering attention, my organizing attention. I move things into piles. Usually I've got a pile for things to donate, a pile for trash, one pile for things to store, and one pile of things that we're going to keep and just need to be put in the right spot. And then my donations get grouped up, and most of the things go to Vietnam Veterans of America. I think they're international, but they definitely come to Pennsylvania and New Jersey because I've used them in both states. And you can sign up, you can schedule a pickup easily through www.pickupplease.org. And it's easy to schedule. You put everything out by 8 a.m. the day that you scheduled your pickup for. I put my things out right on my driveway. I go to work, I come home, and it's gone. Couldn't be an easier way to donate items. And it goes to US veterans, so I know it's going to a great place. They'll only take things that one person can carry. It can be pretty large, but it can't be something large enough that more than one person have to carry. From what I understand, it's all volunteer run. A lot of things I can donate to my kids' preschool, where they went to preschool. A lot of gently used toys and books can be given life again at these preschools, so that's an option that I'm starting to grow out of because my kids are getting big now. They're 10 and 7, and so obviously they don't have many things left anymore in our house that preschoolers would be up for using. So the next part of my spring cleaning is the cleaning part. I usually do my windows and my carpets in the spring. Trying to think if there's anything else. The window people will do my chandeliers, and yeah, I think that's about it as far as spring cleaning goes. If you have any other anything to add about what you do as part of your spring cleaning routine, I'd love to hear it, so please leave it in the comments. I don't typically have my windows and carpets done every year. I usually do the windows every other year, the carpets maybe every third year. I have had some issues with the window cleaners I've worked with in the past, so I don't have a specific company to recommend. I've tried a few. If you have had good experiences, I'd love to hear about them. My windows are not very old, but apparently the screens are not in great shape, so there's companies that don't want to deal with the screens. A lot of times I do them myself because they fold right in on me. It's a lot of work, but if you know of a company that doesn't mind doing them from the inside only, I would love to work with them. So please let me know in the comments. For carpets, I've always used Stanley Steamer. I've had no issues with them. They're easy to work with and they complete their work quickly and efficiently. So the last part of my spring cleaning is the fun part. I usually decorate. You know, in the fall, I decorate for the fall or for Halloween. And then in the winter, we go through, you know, you might have Christmas decorations. I do Hanukkah decorations and New Year decorations. So we go through different decorations through the winter seasons, and then springtime comes and it's time to brighten up the place. Personally, I keep it pretty simple. I usually put a nice bright wreath on the front door, and I put some colorful flowers in the pots on the front porch. I try to keep those flowers to cold weather flowers because it's still very chilly in the mornings and in the evenings in the spring in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. So things like pansies that can really withstand the cold. And I might need to change them out when we get to the hot summer months. So it's usually twice that I have to change those pots out, but that's all right. Sometimes they'll make it through the hot summer months, but sometimes they won't. Depends, I guess, on how that particular weather is that year. So once I do my front door, that's all I have to do for the front, for the curb appeal, because the landscaping kind of takes care of itself now. The tulips are blooming. So they're bringing spring with them. They're bringing color to the front of my house on their own. On the inside, I pretty much just brighten up the decor on my fireplace mantle, and I could put some pictures up of that. I can put that in my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, my handle is Michelle Klein, LNF Realtor. If you celebrate Easter, I'm sure there are a lot of extra little touches that you can add around your house to give your space a nice, fresh springtime feel. And of course, before I end this video, I want to tie this all back to real estate, and it definitely does. So my real estate tip as it relates to spring cleaning is, if you are thinking of listing your house this summer, then early spring is an opportune time to jump in with decluttering and cleaning. You'll want the extra time. I know you think you have months before you're listing your home, but to have your home looking its best for when your agent comes over with that photographer, you want to probably begin your spring cleaning and your decluttering and organizing now. Because when the photographer comes, when buyer tours begin, you want to show your spaces in their best light. And the less clutter there is, the more inviting, the more spacious your home will appear. Spaces that have clutter make buyers think that it's too small of a space. And most buyers are moving thinking they're upgrading a space, they need room for family and entertaining. And of course, we all end up with cluttered spaces in one way or another. But when you're showing your home, if it's decluttered and organized, it'll give that appeal to buyers that it is a spacious home where you can entertain, where you can live and relax. Now, if you're not on the selling side of things, but say you're going to start looking for houses this spring or through the summer, then spring cleaning your own home serves as a jump start on packing up your belongings for when you find that perfect place to make your home. That's it for today. That's all I have on spring cleaning. Once again, I am Michelle Klein with Long & Foster Real Estate. Don't forget to like and subscribe.